feel a little cold. I wish I could warm it up.
Oh, not to worry, not to worry.
Okay. So that is looking. So I'm going to get you to do. So have you ever had laudanum before?
Uh, Perhaps. Not sure.
Okay. So laudanum is a liquid opiate. So it's similar to morphine, but the dosage is different. So what you're going to do is this is 1 day's worth of laudanum. When you start feeling your arm again, you will know because it may be painful. It will likely be painful at the start.
Sure, it'll be mad at
Um,
me. Makes sense.
exactly. So you're going to take 1/3 of this dose at a time. Otherwise, you could do 1/2 and then 2/4 later on. But essentially, you just want to make 3 doses of this. So this wee
Sure.
bottle is for you. And then after that, these pills are phenacetin. So it's a strong painkiller, but it's not going to make your head cloudy. Laudanum is you're going to feel like you're drunk, basically. So I would recommend just having a slow day if you're taking laudanum.
Got it. Got it. I don't plan to do much.
Grand. Okay, that's 3 days worth. If you need more or if you're still in pain, let us know because then we can look at local anesthetic injections.
Sure. I'm not going to take one of those.
I've got a theory that they may impede nerve healing, but I'm actually not sure. A lot of this, like I said, is experimental, so we're still in the baby stages.
Well, while I am certainly interested in the experimental surgery, I don't think I necessarily want to potentially slow down the healing.
Very true. We will see how we go. Obviously, the most important thing is your comfort and your pain levels. I don't want you in agony.
Sure.
Right, so I'm
Of
going to get
course,
you a
of course.
sling, and then we're all finished. I'll just take this IV out of your arm.
Oh, fantastic.
Turn off that ugly.
Let's see. Does it work? It does. Upright.
There you go. And I'm just going to take off this wee sheet here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put you in the sling.
Fantastic. I don't know how to do that in this. It's fine. Right. I don't imagine my arm will want to be without it for a bit.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's just going to be flopping everywhere. All right. And there you go. Just duck your head for me. Perfect. Fantastic. Okay, and we're all done.
Wonderful. Actually, we want... Oh, no. Can't do it that way. We're going to do on the neck. And I think I shall just settle for the shirt for now and fight with a vest once my shoulder feels better.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So, do you have any questions about your healing or about what our process is going forward?
None whatsoever. Just, I suppose, give you a telegram in a few days and
Beauty.
see if we can get a connection then. Make sure everything is
Fantastic.
well.
Great. Keep me updated if you can either telegram me directly or to the medic tip line. Do you have
Sure,
you've got my
sure.
telegram number?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And fantastic. And I will see you in 3 days.
Sounds good to me. Let's
Just come nice
open
and
the
slow.
door.
No rush.
Oh,
Where are you headed? I can get a buggy for you if you like.
I'm not actually all that sure I'm headed anywhere. I think I might just stay in Saint Denis.
Okay, sure. I would recommend not riding. Riding with one hand is a bit of a, especially if is that your shire?
Yes, his name is Gawain. Lovely fellow.
Like, shires are beautiful.
He's a strong young feller.
Like, my first horse in the crossing was the shire.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Okay, I would recommend not riding, just because getting on that horse is going to be a wee bit of a nightmare with one arm.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay.
I'll put the hat on.
Right, would you like a buggy?
I think I shall just walk.
Okay. All right, well, it was lovely to see you again, and
You as well, Doctor.
thank you for everything. I'm very glad that went well.
Of course. So am I. Hopefully that's another feather in the cap of your experimental procedure.
I appreciate that.
Happy to
I
oblige.
won't keep you.
Medic, good to meet you, ma'am.
You too. Thank you for the conversation.
And you both be well.
Bye, you too. Cheery bye.
And now we go...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Said somewhere. Relog. I don't know. That was fun. So this character theoretically shouldn't do anything. So as much as I actually did want to ride up to the Wapiti or whatever it is place up north, I don't think we should do that. Just to be in keeping with the character. I wonder if I can go through this gate. Oop, person. Hey, we can. Cool. A lot of the stuff here that's fun is just seeing what you can access. Because Saint Denis is such a specific kind of place. Aha. Wouldn't it be funny just to sit up here with a book and like watch people like freak out? By the way, that's the market there. What is in the market? Just a shop where you can buy random things like teeth and toenails and stuff. Cool. Well, now we shall go back and see what else to do. Do. Alrighty. What do we think? Do we want to do something else? I don't actually even know who's here. Maybe something with the Egyptian. And he is Yep, was doing farm chores because I'm still saving up for a horse. And I have a horse, but I want a really nice horse with him. We're going to do chickens. Oop, don't need that. So the Egyptian is the guy that's going to be a criminal eventually, probably. But in the meantime, he just kind of... He's very polite to people. Because he would rather not be robbed. Though it is, of course, eventually a goal to rob them. Yay, the chicken spawned. This is one of the most annoying... So, farm jobs are, on the one hand, really handy for getting money pretty quickly. But they're annoying because chickens do stuff like that where they're like, oh, I'm going to eat the seeds that you have thrown down. And then they get too close to you and they run away. And you can't really do much about it other than hope that you're not too close when you do it again. Let's see. So that you can attract them without it being an issue. Dang it. So I wind up throwing out seed and then like walking halfway across the pen. But you have to be careful. So I'm currently... what is this one? I forget. I will look in a second. As to which ranch this is. I know that it's pretty much down near Armadillo. Watch this not. Yeah, it's bugged now. It freaks out a lot, so it can take a long while to actually do ranch chores. Some of it's easy. Milking cows, stacking hay bales, stuff like that's super easy, but chickens are annoying because they either spook because of horses, spook because of you, or the game just is like, doesn't register that you're there. However, the thing that the hay bale will do is sometimes not actually tell you where it's supposed to be put down. So you just kind of have to walk around and hope you can find the little white thing, which I think is maybe around, yeah, right there. Right by that shed. Oh, I could... interesting. Eventually, I plan to have a webcam running. So I can do things like eat on camera. Just kidding. But I probably actually will eat stuff randomly. I'm a snacker. I don't know if anybody else is. But I don't want to do it until I have like a green screeny type thing behind me. If we bump this open, we can maybe scare... Oh, wrong way. I thought that was going to swing the other direction. But if we walk over here, we can spook the chickens so that they move. And are like, hey. Sometimes the game needs either like a funny reminder of, hey, there's somebody here. Or something I've found randomly in the past, if you relog, which isn't, that's not a solution I want to do very much because it's not really a roleplay friendly one. Or you just wait until the game's like, oh yeah, there's nobody here. We'll just reset the chickens. Nope. They're very annoying. Mason, are you still around? Because I might actually go into Armadillo just so you can see the changes that they've actually done to the map. Because you've played Red Dead before, I think. Question mark? Because Armadillo in the main game is like a ghost town, I think, if I remember correctly. Oh, just the first one? Okay. So 2 has kind of a different feel. I don't know if you ever really wind up in Armadillo in the second one. I don't know that I've played that far. But the first one, I barely remember because I played it in college. But I know that there's kind of like a cholera outbreak or something at some point that had wiped out a lot of Armadillo. So the game on Red Dead Online and probably in Red Dead 2 as well, because of the way that the map is just kind of like based on the game. It's basically a ghost town with like a saloon and a bunch of boarded up buildings. The WildRP staff actually has worked with a map modder to put in like a lot of the buildings that you can actually go into. I don't know if you can go into this one, but I know there are other actually you probably can. There are other ranch buildings that you can definitely go inside of. In fact, when I got my rifle stolen from Moody, the low rent cattlemen, I think they were called. Low value cattlemen is just what I'm calling them because I think it's funny to like misremember their name a little bit, and because it'll probably tick them off if they ever hear somebody spreading a wrong name. Because we had a weird back and forth because it started raining when they rode up, and the one guy was like, "Hey," and he never heard me say hello, so he kind of got on me when he's like, "It's polite to respond," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I did say howdy. I don't think you heard me." He's like, "Are you calling me deaf?" And it turned into a whole thing. It's probably part of why they stole my rifle. The other part of it just being I had a Lancaster repeater and they wanted it. A Lancaster. Hello, good day. See, fully different voice for this character. Actually, one of the things that I'm sort of intentionally doing is he is actually British, but uses a fake voice. Traveled kind of to the Middle East because he was told that's where his family was from, but they lived in Britain and spoke English the whole time. So he has a British accent mostly. But in order to kind of fake out people, he uses this like sort of Arabic accent. It's really just my excuse for doing a bad Arabic accent. Just being able to kind of get away with RP. Ooh, am I going to get all 3? That'd be great. See, I waited long enough and then the game was like, oh, there's nobody over here. We'll just reset the chickens. I think I am going to get all 3. That's awesome. Yeah, so the bar fills up much quicker if you can get 3 rather than just 1 or 2. But even then, I'm going to probably have to throw it again. Yeah. Which hopefully I can do without spooking chickens. It's the reason, like, I enjoy this particular minigame because, like, all I have to do is feed 8 chickens, stack 12 hay bales, and milk 3 cows, and I get like a couple $100. Oop, spooked that one. Yep, I triggered him. Cool. So it's an easy way to actually like get money, especially if you're not doing something like robbing banks or anything like that. not a good way to do this without spooking one of them. So throw it there and hope. Yeah, cool. So character model does that weird like backstep thing. Hopefully we can just knock this out quickly, because I do not want to be doing farm chores all night. But it's a pretty decent place to start with things, because it'll take you around the crossing without needing to have a bunch of knowledge of how to do certain things. Because there's jobs where you're like making drinks for a specific bar, or cooking potato soup, or moving ice or something like that. And a bunch of those require either knowledge of how to make the drink or the food, or be able to get ice, or just straight up like, hey, you need to have the means to actually transport this thing. We got one chicken. Hopefully that's fine. That's a rooster, I think, technically. He's a Dominique. Yeah, that'll be okay. So we got one more, and then the other two are super easy to do. But I have to save up like $1,100 in order to get the horse that I want for this guy. Because I'm intentionally trying to get a very fast horse, because he's going to be a criminal eventually. So his first horse is named Scheherazade, because he's sort of trying to like play into the, oh, I'm an ignorant Middle Easterner kind of thing, until he pulls a shotgun on you. By the way, that's what that gun is hanging on my shoulder. But he's going to name the Arabian whenever he gets it. I think Saladin, Saladin, who I think was a prince of the Saracens and like took over a lot of the Holy Land way back when. Just kind of a fun nod to the background of the character. This should do it if I can get 2 or even 3. And then I can go to Armadillo after I really quickly do the other half of the chores. So farm chores are priced really well for what they are. And it's very easy when you come in to just be like, oh, I just work on farm chores, because people are like, oh, what ranches do you work at? And it sort of is a natural progression to which ranches, which places you've kind of been to. Some of them are really goofy and have like weird hazards attached. Like McFarland Ranch has a cougar that likes to hang out in the crop farms, and in the actual like field, which is kind of scary, because if you don't know it's there, it can run up on you and just like jump you. Which was bad with Moody when Moody was first there. This is why Moody wound up with the shoulder injury that ever had him in a position to talk to a medical professional and have them basically be like, oh, you should talk to Dr. Gray about that old wound. Because I only had a bow with me, thinking, oh, I'll do this other thing because rifles don't necessarily make sense yet. So I didn't have something that would make a loud noise or damage the cougar enough that it would actually go away. So I got jumped by it, which was not fun. Endangered Finley, who is the role player that was playing Dr. Gray, is messaging me on Discord and says, thank you for patience. It's almost like their computer knows when they have something that they need to do. We actually have been messaging back and forth in game.
Bastard Sheriff Freeman, ain't you?
What? Was that a comment on my skin tone? The character that I'm playing, I think vaguely looks Mexican in certain circumstances. Maybe because of the skin tone. But I sort of intentionally tried to do a little bit darker but lighter. Oh no. Oh, it worked. Yay. Some of the farm chores will break after a little while. However, I've not run into a problem with haystacking yet. Aside from just, it doesn't feel like picking up the first one. Hello, puppy. I would pet you if I could, but I am currently busy. So with everybody being active in roads, I wonder if the West is actually really dead today. I know for a while there was a particular gang that was running Armadillo and trying to make it so that the law actually was scared to be outside. They're either in their office or they're not in Armadillo. That was their goal. And the Egyptian has actually been stopped by a group too and wound up briefly tussling with a dude because we went in for a hug and I typed something wrong and wound up socking one of the dudes in the face. Which is not at all on purpose. And wound up just kind of being a funny exchange. Because it also started raining at the same time. It seems like half of the time when I'm trying to roleplay, it just rains really, really loudly. And then you're just left yelling over stuff. But also I learned after that fact that there's actually a control so that you can make your in-game voice louder. And I didn't know that existed, and I was just going around with it at a normal speaking volume when most people need it to be at what they call a yell, which is just 3 out of 4. So I was just basically using 2. But you can actually set it to even lower than that if you're having a really personal conversation and you don't want anybody to overhear you. But hopping the fence. We have 3 more of these, and then 2 quick milk things, and then we will go to Armadillo. The reason Armadillo is kind of nice now is Armadillo has just about one of everything, like Saint Denis or Valentine. So whereas sort of in the other games, Rhodes and Strawberry are kind of important, they still are relatively important just because this server is kind of designed for people to be in a lot of places at once, including up north in Coulter, which is just snow everywhere. You can legitimately just hang out in a place and just roleplay with whoever comes through. Coulter was kind of dangerous for a little while because the only people that ever kind of went up there were criminals or the law chasing them. Or at least that's how it seemed via Twitch. Which is kind of how I've gotten sort of a feel for the way a lot of the server kind of works. That's where I know, Mason, you were asking earlier, can you just log off? Yeah, I can absolutely just log off, but it's more interesting for everybody involved if I don't. Myself included, because then I get to go interact with law and go, hey, so-and-so robbed me or had a weird conversation with me. In fact, the first time
Good morning.
Howdy. The first time I got downed by anybody, I got thrown off my horse because of wolves. Twice in one day, and the second time just landed hard and went unconscious. And the guy that rescued me was this dude named Roger Kennedy. who is, quote, wanted as shit. And basically he and whoever he was hanging out with just randomly happened upon me and helped me out because they could. The one dude basically kept, like, Roger Kennedy basically kept a gun on me the entire time they were interacting with me. Just in case, like, I had friends hiding in the bushes to jump out and rob them. Which I assume they thought of only because that's exactly what they would do. But at that point, Robert Moody barely knew anybody in the crossing. I think I had, like, interacted once with Phyllis White. And really not with anybody else. Including Law. Although I still really haven't, aside from just, like, reporting crimes. So I kind of came in with Moody with the intention of learning how the server worked and playing a character that was going to be polite to everybody and not really get into trouble. But the interesting thing is that has gotten him into trouble more so than just not being involved. That's definitely somebody that just rode through. It's interesting how much the sound quality kind of matters. Half the time when I go hunting, I find myself actually trying to listen for audio cues for particular critters. Kind of bummed I haven't seen Kara yet. I know she was interested in seeing more of WildRP after I told her about it. I got one more of these, and then we'll go to Armadillo and visit the bank. And then we'll see what we can do. But it's really fun, especially if you enjoyed Red Dead to any extent at all. The ability to basically play a character from Red Dead Redemption, but tell your own story is really cool. And kind of let other people help guide it. Whether you wind up in a criminal gang or just working on a farm or in a medical I'm trying to think of the right word. As like medical faculty, maybe, of the server? Sure, we'll go with that. But like there's even a schoolhouse in Armadillo that you can RP like teaching kids if you really wanted to, or teaching adults, I guess. The server is 18 plus. There's no kids on the server. Last one, and then we go to Armadillo. And I have to remember to not use the southern voice. By the way, Mason, I think the type of mustache she means is this type. Maybe. The soup strainer. I just picked it because it felt the most Middle Eastern, but also Western American of the options. But this character actually carries a knife and a handgun. Doesn't have a rifle though. I should probably get one at some point. Where did you? Why did you spawn in there? That's a weird place for you. Silly horse. Let me briefly look at this to make sure we go the right direction. Tumbleweed. Armadillo. Yeah, we're going armadillo. Because we have $200 and I have learned don't carry too much money on you. It's not a good idea. If they will steal your gun, they almost certainly will steal your money if they realize how much you have. I passed it. Look, a Gila monster. Some things you can actually just like hunt with a knife, which is interesting. I have a cleaver too. I accidentally technically killed a another player with the cleaver by accident at one point because she was standing too close to me when I was trying to butcher a rabbit, and the game locked onto her instead of the rabbit. But I had medical supplies, so we just played it off as I bumped into her and she fell over. Not a thing I want to accidentally repeat, but let's go, armadillo. Should we? Just around the corner here. This is one of the cheapo starter horses. And that is armadillo now. It's fancy, very nice. Piano has a working... Saloon has a working piano in it. There we go. Paloon. I was going to say the piano has a working saloon, and that doesn't make sense. Well, there's a horse randomly in the middle of town. Oh boy, look at that. All those folks. Based on how they're standing, I bet most of them are law. So we're going to casually not interact with them too much. At least one of them has binoculars. And they're all looking over here. I wonder what they're going to do. If they're going to do anything. We're about to see. 4 good or perfect deer hides. Cattle and... Nope. Nothing interesting. No telegrams at all.
Howdy.
We're going to keep it that way. Hello, my friends.
Howdy, fella.
There are quite a few of you.
How are you?
How are you?
I am doing all right. How are you?
Oh, we're doing quite fine. I figured.
I figured.
What's your name?
My name, sir. My name is Abdul-Qadir, but my friends call me the Egyptian.
The Egyptian. Who are your friends?
Oh, you know. People that know me like that.
Oh, I gotcha. You got me. You live out west or you live east? Where you live?
We can't socialize in these fucking outfits.
I'm
Look like a clown
socializing.
brigade. You look. This is your normal outfit. It's
Y'all
okay
need
for
to
you.
stay with the
Are you
bit
saying
too.
I dress like a clown?
What you need to do is
No,
repeat
but
everything he says one at a time like you did in the street. You have to keep that up.
I can't. I can't.
Gotta have to go
you
and have
dress up
some
All right,
fucking.
very
here's
serious
the ordeal. Go change
conversations.
back into your normal clothes. When we hear the Hoopers are around,
Okay, all right.
we'll gold up.
Gold up. Get the hell out.
I
Well,
am
nice to
confused.
meet y'all, but I'm headed out east, so y'all have
It was nice to meet you too. I'm Jesse Gold, by the way, Egyptian.
No, I'm Jesse Gold.
I love when this happens.
There's a group of deputies all dressed alike that go around calling themselves the Hoopers because one of them's name is Hooper, and we are trying to match their energy.
Are you making fun of them or are you joining them?
No, we're gonna fight them.
Ah. That seems potentially dangerous, but to answer your first question, I am new enough in town that I do not have a home yet.
Oh, what do you like to get into?
It depends on why you are asking.
Well,
Although,
I'm maybe
I
about to
suppose-
go kill some law, so I'm not
I
asking for them.
suppose if you are about to kill law, yes, you are safe. Potentially things of a nature I think that you would enjoy.
Oh, you gotta come by Thieves Landing sometime.
I shall do this. Thieves Land.
I'm Jesse Gold. Yeah, I'm Jesse Gold. I'm with the Bastards.
Are you the actual Jesse Gold?
Yeah, I'm the actual one. Here, hold on. I'll take my hat off, make it a lot more obvious. If
He is the actual one, yeah.
yeah,
Yes. Very
Yeah.
good to meet you, sir.
yeah, you as well. We mostly reside in Thieves. We offer a lot of work to people, especially people that are just trying to get their feet wet and find out what's what. A lot of not just our gang, the Bastards, but it's a lot of different gangs. In fact, I think I'm the only bastard that's in this group right now. So
I shall remember this.
you're
It is
looking
very
for
good
work,
to meet you, sir.
camaraderie,
Yes, I could
or
be.
drink. We got all.
Then it seems to be a thing that I shall certainly take you up on.
Is he looking for work?
Yeah, perhaps.
Good to meet someone else not from this place.
Oh yes, I am. I am most certainly not from here.
He's the Russian Jesse Gold.
I'm not the Russian Jesse Gold. My name is Pavel Boris. Pleasure.
Russian Jesse Gold. Yes. Sorry. Your name again?
Pavel Boris.
Pavel.
If you want work,
Very good
I'm
to
in
meet you.
Thieves a lot as well, or telegram me. Find you a job.
Certainly. And your telegram number, sir?
DZ122.
DC122?
Da.
Got it. I love this
Any
character.
skills?
Such as?
You tell me. Professions, histories. What were you before you came here?
Well, if I can be quite frank with you, I wasn't no fucking Egyptian.
No.
Sorry, it's an act that I put up so that, people go, oh, it's a doddering fellow. Let us, let
I
him
liked
be
it.
fine.
I like the act of the Egyptian.
You
You should
had
keep
me.
it.
Come on.
Fuck, I
I
was
mean-
excited. Here I thought you were interesting.
Oh,
With you.
I am interesting. I mean, half of it is
Certainly. Why are you acting as a fucking Egyptian?
because if a fellow like you gives me work and I get picked up by law and they hear that I am an Egyptian, not Abdul-Qadir or whatever,
Wait, do you do the work as the Egyptian or do you do the work as the Englishman?
depends on who I'm talking to. That is the brilliance of it. I have no file, and if they make a file on me and they do it as though I am the Egyptian, well, Abdul is still out there.
Fucking hell.
Mm.
Hey, Jesse Gold, I have something to admit. I'm not actually Russian. I've been
I knew it.
from
Amazing.
Wales this whole time.
Wells. You
Yes,
clearly
Wales.
sound like you're from Wells.
I'm Welsh.
Let me hear some Celtic.
Habana, habana, habana.
Fucking brilliant that is.
That's insulting.
Sorry, if you're Welsh, I'm sorry.
No,
The Welsh don't speak Celtic anyway.
A lot of them do.
Do they? I thought they speak.
I think so.
I thought Welsh was a language in itself.
I thought it
think
was
there-
too.
I think there is, but it's in Celtic origins, right?
Criminal winds
That's
up being
true.
so much more
I
interesting
suppose, but
just because they're like, we want to do things.
Technically, you're all right, except for the hubba.
I can't even begin to try. It's like super.
I put a bunch of fucking extra languages, extra letters in the words.
Yeah.
And it's bollocks.
A lot of hard, like really hard syllables, like thrown together.
I
don't
have
know.
met one of the bastards, though. That's cool.
All right, let's go to these maybe.
2 horses at the sheriff's office now.
Well, it's probably Willard and somebody else. I don't know. Y'all want to go to Thieves?
I would like to. I'm gonna send a telegram with Dio to meet with
All
him.
right.
From
I'm
the
gonna
office.
use the rest. What's your real name then?
Abdul-Qadir.
Is that your real name, or is that what you're just going by?
No, that's a real one.
Oh, okay.
Abdul. Yeah.
It's nice to meet you, Abdul.
You as well, Mr. Gold.
That's for them, yeah.
Come on by anytime.
Oh, I will. Of course, it's hard to flip back and forth between those two accents. But we are about to... we're going to put Pavel in here. I didn't catch his last name, but that's okay. So that I want to get into doing crim roleplay because it's interesting, but I want to figure out kind of the world. And one recommendation they make is picking up like tools and gear and stuff. So like buying a lasso, getting the right horse, etc. Did you catch any of that, Mason? As soon as there's like a gang of 6 that just converges on you, you're like, oh boy, this could be fun. Oh, I want to just pause it, not withdraw. And then they all go riding. Sounds like thunder when they do that. Sheesh. Yeah, and they're like all gone suddenly. Jeez. That's cool though. Now I can like show up in Thieves Landing and be like, hey, I've met Jesse Gold. And hopefully he'll freaking remember it. So we're at 690. I don't really like any of these. We're gonna go to Tumbleweed. Because it's further west. Half of the reason to kind of run around out west is Zip Quill's gang is out here. And, well, sometimes. I don't know what kind of mood he'd be in today. But I've never run into him, but I really kind of want to roleplay with him and actually maybe even wind up in that gang. Like if I had to pick one, that's the one I'd want to be in. Because Zip is very much like, I'm going to protect my people as long as they're working for the same thing I am. Moody picked up the Shire really quickly because it's not all that much more expensive than a starting horse, and it's a little bit faster. This one's just kind of annoying because it's not that quick. So it'll be interesting when I actually get an Arabian and it just tears off all over the place because it's just so fast in comparison to this one. But we'll see how that goes. It is always interesting to me, criminals that like are pretty sure of themselves will just kind of show up and be like, "What do you want to get into?" When Moody got rescued by Roger Kennedy, that was one of the things that Kennedy said. What do you want to get into? And I'm not going to judge you because I'm wanted as crazy. Like they're going to shoot me before they do you, basically, which is probably true. Ooh, speaking of shooting. That sounded like it was over there. I don't really want to go charge it into that, whatever that is. We're going to ride right through the ranch that I started in. Hey, thank you for the follow, Dread. Dread Charybdis, what a great name. Hello. Of the really scary Greek monsters, that's a solid one. And there's a pig. A couple pigs. Yep, we got, actually I'm counting 5. Mason, we got Texman 3 hours ago. Dooley, who I know in real life, or from a while ago, 2 hours ago, and then also Sekro and Vrail, and then just now Dread Charybdis. Which is cool. I have a nice little metric. Welcome to Tumbleweed. It is a rundown place. I have a nice little counter here on the Streamlabs thing that I'm using. Is there somebody over there? I feel like something just walked that way. That's fine. Not important. So there's not a lot of anything that happens usually in Tumbleweed from what I've seen. Vulture eggs. I wish I knew where to get those. Chanterelle. Those are mushrooms. Desert sage. Babolito. Nope. Can't do any of this. Rathskeller? No. Fort Mercer. Mercer has a poker table and a saloon. We got Thieves. That's where he just invited us to. We'll hit Blackwater and then see what time it is. Because it's about 10:20 now, my time. And I don't necessarily want to play super duper much longer. It is raining. Let's put the jacket on. Probably also the vest for that matter. Very excited to be able to pull that out. It's a thing that I had planned for this character. So he's from England. His parents are obviously dark-skinned, Probably from somewhere in the Middle East, but they don't talk about where they're from, and they don't rely on the language. So he doesn't really know where he's from. He just had a bunch of classmates call him Egyptian when he was growing up, so he assumed, oh, maybe it's Egypt. And when he was probably like 19 or 20, he got enough money for a ticket to get on a boat to go to Egypt from England. And when he was there, pretty quickly got marked as like, oh, this is a young guy who looks like he belongs here, but doesn't know anything about our culture. And got set up by some pretty dangerous people very quickly. So he wound up kind of running from that. But it's a lot of what he's known is like dangerous folk. You have to ally yourself with dangerous folk to protect yourself from said dangerous folk. So he's kind of come into this new land with 6 months-ish of experience in actual Egypt, which is kind of just enough for him to like pretend that's where he's from. But then he can just fall back into old habits and try to stay safe. But he's, I think, just come here for purposes of maybe making it rich. Maybe I think he wants to learn how to like do all the stuff he could do, whether it's robbing people, breaking into banks, that kind of thing. Which is part of why I haven't played him a whole lot, because I don't want to actually run into somebody like Zip Quill. Jesse Gold is a relative unknown to me. The guy that plays Zip streams on Twitch, B3U down. He's really good. I've really enjoyed watching him play. But I don't know a lot about most of the rest of the criminal world. So Jesse Gold could be a nice natural introduction, actually, to kind of meet them. And actually, I should get food while I'm here. There's a person leaning on the bar. How interesting. We're gonna not talk to him unless he talks to us. Listen to all those horses. More horses. I wonder where they're going. We're not following them to figure out. They didn't hassle us. We're not going to chase them down. It doesn't make a lot of sense with my level of familiarity so far, which is relatively not much. I've only been playing this game for 3-ish weeks. It doesn't make a lot of sense to go chase down a whole group of people without knowing anything about them. I think I may just on principle take the safe route up here. There's a couple wolves that like to spawn up the road a ways. And normally that wouldn't be much of an issue, but I don't really feel like spending any time unconscious on the road. which could pretty easily happen with this horse. It's not this one, it's the next one. Yep, they're there. See them off in the distance? We're gonna not mess with that. So we take the other route, and then it's actually theoretically slightly more direct even, because it doesn't loop super wide. Although I don't think this is the way. I think I had to go further to the right. Yeah, that's better. It's a weird thing when you like had knowledge of this game because you played it for a long while, and then you haven't played it much, so you've kind of forgotten how to get places or where things are all the time, and you kind of have to relearn. That's why part of Moody's backstory is he lived out west for a little while, so he like knows about tumbleweed and armadillo and blackwater and such. That is McFarland Ranch over there. There's a cougar that spawns in the crops, which is scary sometimes if you don't know it. Oh, and there's wolves. Not good. Not good. Oh, they're fine. Okay, they left me alone. That's very nice of them. Wolves are rough not because they'll actually like do much to you, but because they'll spook your horse, and your horse will throw you, and then that will do a bunch of damage to you. And then the wolves will basically just run up on you while you can't really do anything and finish the job. And you just wind up lying unconscious on the road for a while. Because this has different rules than Red Dead Online. In Red Dead Online, if you die, you can just respawn. You're maybe like 100 feet away from where you died, and you can just run in and shoot stuff again. In this one, if you go down, you're lying by the road unconscious until somebody finds you, which can be a while, I've discovered. So it's part of why I hope to actually like get to know people in this thing, because it's a lot easier to kind of survive things if there's like two of you. Like that horse that just rode past had two people on its back. One of you goes down. If the other one has medical supplies, you can just kind of help them back up and then keep going. Much harder to do that if there's just one of you. Some coyotes. And there is Blackwater. So there's really two places that criminal gangs tend to hang out I think. Thieves Landing is one of them. And then Van Horn is the other. And there's apparently like a lot of stuff in those two places. And we have safely arrived in Blackwater. Look at this. Small logs. Pile of planks. Dry cattle. Slug of cattle. Nope. All of it requires stuff I don't have. Oh yeah, the green. Blackwater also seems pretty good. That's pretty okay. Nobody at the medic place, except for our horse outside. We are gonna hide the shotgun because there's no reason to be intimidating. There's somebody. Sheriff for 3. We're gonna ignore him. And just pretend we are going over here. Oh, there we go. Cool. Hitched him. Great. Well, there you have it. That's WildRP. I think that's going to be me for this evening. Oh look, Scarlet is on. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and raid her, I think. Thanks for joining. We'll play more in the future. Maybe friends of mine will find this interesting and get into it, and will be able to play with me. That'll be pretty cool, I think. So yeah, see you next time. I'll probably will stream next Monday. Might do a random one before then. We'll see how this week shakes out. Friday and Saturday, I am going to be in Winchester with the nonprofit that I worked with. We are doing a horror film festival in the Alamo Draft House there. Should be pretty cool. It's called Horrific Hope if you're interested. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys.